Okay, our last speaker of the day of the session is going to be Rebecca Rusk Lim. Rebecca is Vice President of Interactive Experience for Turner Broadcasting Systems, Inc. And I don't know which side she's coming out on, but she's going to have a presentation for us as well, talking about what Turner's experience has been with TV everywhere.
Hi. How are you?
See, I was looking that way, and I found you. Hi. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're going to be working on the right or on the left, do you think?
I'm going to go over there once they reset.
Okay.
So, do you want to chat first?
Sure.
Or? Okay.
Can you set us up for what you're going to be telling us about?
Yeah, we really appreciate the invitation to speak at Imagine Park today. I'm going to be talking about the March Madness Live apps that are the Turner apps that we use during the tournament and for March Madness.
Right. So Turner's been carrying the NCAA tournament for several years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did you add a lot of apps this year that you didn't have in 2012?
No, what we really did, I'm going to talk about the user experience and how we put that together. But what we really did was from the get-go, we completely re-architected them from, when you think about when you build a building and you have blueprints and you build from that, well, the interaction models and the information architecture, we completely redid them so that what you see on an Android phone, what you see on an iPhone, what you see on an iPad, or what you see on broadband, it's all more or less the same experience.
Okay. So given what you've learned, is going to influence what you're going to do next year, I guess?
I mean, somewhat. When we look at using user-centered design to design these apps, what we really do is work with the business partners and say, what do we want to do? Well, we want to enhance the TV viewing. That's one of the big ones. We want to get people right to video. We want to be able to capture data. We want to do all these things. But bottom line, we want to serve the user.
Right.
So when we really put it together, we look at how people might be using it, where they're using it, what they're going to be looking for. So as I get the demo up, you can see that there's all kinds of different things in there, like the stats and the brackets and some of the other things that are really important to the sports fans.
Well, while we're waiting for them to set up the demo, what was the biggest thing you found?
People have religion about basketball
about
college basketball.
Sure.
And one of the things that we did was a lot of usability testing this year. So we not only did as we were developing the apps, we did usability testing during the tournament itself.
Right.
And we also went guerrilla and went down because the Final Four was played in Atlanta this year. So we went down to Bracket Town and talked with some of the different fans and users about the apps and figured out, some of the awareness about the apps and just, work through that. So that was a really good opportunity to learn.
Great.
So I think we're good.
Looks like they're ready. Okay. Go for it. I'll come over with you too.
So, anybody in here a basketball fan? That's what it's all about. And you can see for me, like Missouri, they don't do too well, but we had a good time with that anyway. So March Madness, as I said, is across all these different platforms. And what we were really trying to do was make it a consistent experience and really use user-centered design, and then also a process we call the cool factor, which is Karen Holtzblatt. If you know her, she's a big UX thought leader, but it's all about getting rid of the hassle factor, putting joy and delight into these applications. And really, as our products and services are moving into these consumer-owned and managed devices, they have to go to the stores, they have to download these, or they have to go to the website, and there's a lot of user interaction that has to happen before they even get here. But fundamentally, we use it to enhance the television viewing. So, as I talked about, there's a wireframe that we set up, and then we set up the app itself. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can see how they're very consistent in how they look and feel. So this is smartphone, then you go over to iPad, it looks the same. You go over to, how you see the game center and the iPad, and then you even go to broadband, and it's the same, it's the same feel across the platform because people don't want to keep learning every time they have to go and do something different. So let me bring up the app itself. And you can see that when you open up March Madness Live, and I'm off the iPad today, right to the schedule. I mean, not a bunch of talk, not a bunch of home pages, not any of that. Just what are they there for? They're there to watch a game. They're there to like check something on the teams that they love. So we parked the navigation over to the side. And like I said, we did a lot of usability testing. So we said, people even see that? That's a new kind of convention around how people navigate. Is that something that really brings them into the game? They're like, yep, there we are. So scores and schedules, you can go into, I can just close that. I can go into, since the games have all played, as this was live, whatever game was live was on their screen at that time. And that's exactly how it was on the iPhone and the Droid phones, and that's exactly how it was on broadband. So again, you could get to any game you want. So you just click on it, you click on it, then you're right to video if the game was live. You can just do simple navigation, go side to side, so you can get social. And we unified some of the social that was going on. So there's all kinds of different things that go on. You could go as the game itself. You can go for different teams. You know, there's a lot of chatter, and there's a lot that goes on socially during the games. And then you go to the other side, and you get to see all the stats, and you get to see, again, by the different teams. This thing down the bottom is something that we implemented that really shows the social volume that went on during the game. And you can see like where there was a spike, that's usually where there was a big play. And you can like click on some of those and you can share those moments out. And those were the kind of things that we were doing, again, to bring the fans more closer to the game and closer to the team that they were following. You know, I can go over here and I can look at different things, and you know, I could go back to the schedule. And of course, brackets, like I said, you know, I'm a Missouri fan. They didn't do much there, so I had to pick Kansas. But I had a really good time, which killed me. But I had to pick Kansas, and I followed the bracket, you know, like, which was pretty exciting because for a little while there, I was a little bit ahead of some of the sports guys, which, you know, was shocking. But then, you know, it changes over as the games, all this stuff updates, and you know, in the end, it's a really awesome experience. We also have a game, not just the bracket itself, but we have this game around it. So you can see, you know, mine didn't do that great. In the end, my ranking's bad, but I had fun playing with it.
Did you win the office pool, though?
No. And there's a social area. So anyway, we're using this so that if people, there's a lot of co-viewing that goes on. So they've got the big screen TV on, but somebody else in the room might want to watch something else. We're seeing that kind of, you know, interaction with some of our users. We're seeing, you know, that may be the only device they have at the time, but it's really there to support the linear viewing and get more eyeballs. You know, one of the things when we first looked at this is this was a collaboration between the technical teams in Turner that I'm a part of, as well as the sports and the sports creative. And sports creative, you know, they're awesome. I mean, they know all the teams, they know how to put all this stuff together, and then when you combine that with a really simple UI, it makes it much, much better for the user. And so we really focused on mobile first for this, because this, to me, that was kind of like, what? Mobile first? I know people say that, whatever. And I'm more of a broadband classic kind of person, and I was like, okay, well, let's try this. And once we did it, it was really awesome, and that's probably the only way I'd want to build stuff in the future, because when you can articulate a product like that is so massive, like March Madness, but you can do it, you know, first of all on a smartphone. We did Droid first, so we did first of all on a smartphone, then on an iPhone, and all this stuff just ported right across, because we had a very clear vision of what we were trying to put in front of the user and how we were trying to articulate the brand.
Yeah, great. Are there any usage numbers or percentages you can share from the? You
know, the usage numbers were all published, you know, a couple of months ago, but bottom line, we broke records in streams and uniques and mobile, right. And, you know, it was all of that. So okay. It was really, really a big victory, and especially for the fans.
Sure. So is this applicable, do you think, just to very popular men's college basketball, or will you be able to apply it to other kinds of programming, other kinds of content that you do?
You know, we're looking, because the UX team that I run goes across all of the different Turner brands, and so we're looking at how we share knowledge from, between and what makes sense for the user. But, this particular thing is really around basketball, but there may be other things that we do in future.
Right. Do you think it could be other things besides sports,
well, we're doing some second screen stuff for entertainment. There's already big second screen stuff for CNN, so there are different products out there with Turner. We have a lot of different apps out there.
Right.
But the one thing I want to say is this is a really new platform, so there's a lot of education that has to go on, and I encourage everybody, the OATC is one organization, and then CTAM has a big, the Residential Products Council is around some of the different about new screens and TVE and some of the other things that are going on. I really encourage people to get involved with that if they can, because there's a lot that we need to do to raise awareness and educate the users.
Okay. Is your team already planning for 2014?
Yes, we are.
Right.
Yes, we are. We're already starting the calls, so
okay, it's
and the conversations. So, our team, we started last summer. I mean, this is a lot, but I think everybody's pretty pleased with the results.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rebecca.
Yeah,
please
thanks,
join me
Alan.
in thanking. Okay, well, I think we've run out of time. I want to appreciate you all coming here, taking it in. I hope you've learned something. It's been fun doing this, and we'll see you again a little bit later.